Why were you worrying about the man?
Well, because they were forced to stay and fight. I myself worked for the Ministry of Defence, and I've realised through experience that even soldiers who chose to be soldiers, if they don't want to be there, they're useless and they're more of a hindrance than a help. For example, one time we were in the Middle East, and recently, a few weeks earlier, the Iranians had taken a bunch of kids that were out on a little crash boat hostage and sent them back. Like a couple of days later, they took their uniforms and replaced them with Hugo Boss suits. Weirdly enough, and whenever we drifted close to their wars, they would send out 3 boats with guns on them, so large machine guns at the front, with multiple men standing on them holding machine guns, pointing at us, circling our ship. And this happened quite regularly, and the first time it happened, they made a pipe through the tannoy system, asking the gunners to man their guns. Now, I was one of the gunners, and I realised after, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes of being on my gun, that every single one of the gunners, apart from me and my loader, were hiding. So the 3 ships are circling us, and the only reason I noticed is because all of the guns from each boat was pointing at me. And I was like, why is everybody pointing at me? Because I was thinking, there's 2 miniguns down there, there's loads of people in GPGs and stuff, and these people, the Force Protection, their only job was gunners. I had to, after this was over, go back inside and do a full day's work. So they had one job, and every single one of them was hiding. And these were big macho men that went about with their chests out, saying how tough they were and everything. And when it came down to it, they ran away. And the other guy who wasn't hiding, who was my loader, as my gun needed a loader, it basically was a huge anti-aircraft gun that shot bombs. He wasn't hiding, but he turned up at least 20 minutes after I did, knowing that I would have set up the guns and stuff, so we would be safer because we could shoot back if we had to, once I'd already set up both guns. Because we were short-staffed, so we had to man both of them, but it's a 2-man job. So I was there, and weirdly enough, I had no armour, apart from a helmet, because they said I was the last person to join the ship, so I didn't get any armour. There was no metal plates inside my armour, so if I got shot, I would have died. So everybody else is wearing armour. Everybody's hiding except me and my gunner. I'm the one with the armour, and I was just like, this is insane. These people have one job, and they can't even do it. And it made me think, if they like to act tough, and they walk about with their chests out, and they would even make comments about how they're like real soldiers and I'm not, and I'm like, you guys are always hiding. And this happened multiple times. And I thought, if these guys who chose to do this job, who like to act tough, who are actual gunners, who are trained as gunners, can't handle it, and will run and hide, what's your average person going to be like? Like some geek who works in IT or something, who's forced to fight in a war. Are they going to be any good? I don't think so, because I haven't seen many people that are particularly good at basically holding their own when it comes to like standoff, and when shots start getting fired, which didn't happen in these situations, I imagine it would be even scarier and even more people would run and hide. So I think it would just make things more difficult to force people to actually stay. That's not a bad little story. Yeah. It's true though. It's true. It happened multiple times. And it was really weird. And weirdly enough, I could have, like, when somebody left the ship, I could have took the armour that had metal plates in it and put mine there, but I didn't. I just spent months and months without any plates.
It doesn't matter with those calibers, no?
No.
It would be bits if you get shot.
The size of the machine guns on the front of their boat, if they shot me, I don't think a little thin metal plate's going to save me anyway. So I was
Your
like,
head would be flying off.
exactly. It was very strange though. It's basically what would happen is 2 ships would be in front of me, then one would be behind me. So I'd be like looking at one here and looking at one here and looking back and forth and looking at their hands to see if they're going to like shoot and looking at their faces quickly to see if they look angry, to kind of figure out who to focus on, and then instantly think about where I'm going to shoot their boat, because my gun shot bombs, to blow them up and kill them all in one shot, whilst at the same time occasionally glancing over down the rest of the ship, because I'm up on the bridge wing, to see everybody's hiding, and nobody got into trouble for it. It was crazy. So yeah.
It's pretty weird, man.
It's pretty weird. Personally, I think the Ministry of Defence should have noticed that and said, well, hey, he's the only person that's actually turning up on time.
That's their job.
In doing it, and maybe promoted me, because if their PO can't lead them, then they need somebody that can.